Hey everybody, what's going on? It is, let me adjust this camera. That seems too close. You guys don't want to look at me that close. All right, it is the 9th of February 2020, live fishing report. All right, so last week I was a little plugged up. Hey Earl, man, somebody's here already. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm still a little plugged up. I got a cough drop in right now. I got this lingering thing going on. Or whatever. Seems like I'm always on here hacking and coughing, but it's that time of the year, I guess. But yeah, we'll get through this anyway. So it is 7 o'clock. Hey Jeff, how you doing, man? Good to see you. All right, 7 o'clock. Happy to be back. Me too, Scott. I'm always happy to be back. Thanks for being here, my friend. Appreciate it. All right, so how's it going, Joe? Hey, how's it going with you? I just got an email from you. You want to know about some YouTube stuff? I'll send you an email back on that. No problem. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Good to see everybody popping in here. That's cool, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Good evening. Let's get spring here. Yeah, I don't have much control over that, unfortunately. Dave, you're here. Joe, you're here. Quite a few guys here. That's cool. Glad to have everybody around. Hey, Roger. Hey, from Allegan. Welcome here, my friend. Hey, oh, Leroy. Leroy's here from Purple Tacos. So you saw him just check in there a couple seconds ago. If you got any questions at all for Purple Taco, or if you just want to say hi to Lee and his wife Debbie, they are here. They're watching. They're here almost every Sunday, which is really cool. These guys are so committed to their customer service at Purple Taco. I'm not just saying that either. I'm not just blowing smoke. Those guys, Lee and Deb, are fantastic people. Nobody treats their customers better than I've ever seen than Lee and Deb down there at Purple Taco. So if you got it, you just want to say hi to them, they're right there. Throw them a shout, throw them a hello. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. Or if you got any questions at all about their products, they're right there. So yeah, today let's talk about that. Today I just put out fly number 4. You guys, probably most of you know that I'm putting out 5 new flies this year that you can tie for 2020. This one just came out today. Hey Scott, how you doing, man? I just did this one today. This one is really a cool fly. It's got some really unique colors. Like I said, the video just popped out today. You can tie this thing up yourself. This thing is a fantastic bright day fly. Anyway, I talk about it a little bit more in those videos. You can go back, you can watch all that stuff at your leisure, whenever you want to. Have fun, tie some flies. You know, there's nothing cooler than going out and catching something on something that you dreamed up and made, or however you do it. It's just really fun. So yeah, all right. So at any time, as always, if you have any questions during the video, please just throw me a comment down there. I'll jump in. If I miss one, man, if somebody could just reread it back to me or send it back or whatever, that's great. If not, I'll always go back in at the end and answer questions. I always like to do that. How about a starter kit the bride? Okay, that's for Lee right there. Earl wanted to know something about a Purple Taco fly starter kit. That's something I got to do better. I got an email from a guy who said, you know, when you read the questions here that people are posing, I normally lean in like this and I kind of mumble. I don't read the question very well. I need to do a better job of telling you guys what the question was. So my apologies on that. I'll take the hit on that. I'm new to this. I'm not a professional spokesperson in any way. I'm just a fisherman, and not a great one at that some days, but you know, I'm just a guy on here trying to give you some pretty good content. Anyway, let's do what this is all about. A fishing report for the 9th of February 2020. So this weekend was the Osborne's big ice fishing tournament. Was wondering if you knew Steve Frederick, old timer from Manistee. Not ringing a bell, Scott. Sorry, man, I don't know him. But yeah, this last weekend was the big ice fishing tournament here on. You're doing great. Hey, thanks, Jason. Appreciate that, buddy. So here's the info I got from the ice fishing tournament over the weekend. This tournament's open to any lake inside Manistee County. So one thing I heard was fishing was not that great, unfortunately. Some guys got some pretty decent catches, but most guys didn't do very well. One guy was fortunate enough to put his sled through the ice and is now, that sled's now sitting nicely on the bottom of Portage Lake. Yeah, fly tying is addictive, man, no doubt, Mark. Yeah, so that was good for not him to lose his sled out there. I shouldn't laugh about that because that is a terrible, dangerous thing. But man, those guys, they go out there and they push the limit of that ice out there. I heard it was out by Andy's Point, which is about middle of Portage Lake. And if that ice out there is sketchy, man, you would not find me. You would not find me anywhere near that. Sounds like this guy lost a sled and Shanny and his gear, but luckily, thank God, he's okay and everybody else is okay. So that's good at least. Yeah, fishing was not so great. Some guys brought in some nice catches of perch over on the east side. I will say this, a buddy of mine last week speared the biggest fish of his life. I saw it on Instagram. My buddy Steve put up a picture of a 20-pound, I think a 42 and a half or so, 42 and a half inch pike that he speared out there on the east side of Portage Lake. That's a monster pike. They do every now and then, well, I shouldn't say every now and then, but one or two of those normally get speared or caught a year on Portage Lake. There's some really nice pike in that lake. And if you're lucky enough to be there at the right place, right time, it could be you. Walleye, I didn't hear much about it around the area. I know walleye fishing is still on the off. Seems like most guys are targeting perch and pike right now. And like I said, those have been off a little bit also. Hey, Aaron, checking in from Erie. Nice to see you here, my friend. So what did work on the perch? Seemed like mostly Halley jigs tipped with spikes or Halley jigs tipped with wigglers. Sound like that was the best thing. Or the best things, rather. I see some people here talking to Lee there from Purple Taco. That's cool. I said, do you have much luck with red and fly? Do I have much luck with red and flies? I don't do a lot with red and flies. I'm just being honest there. There's one particular rig that I really used to like to run. It was called, what the heck was it? Red Pepper Rig. And I forget who made that meat rig. It might have been a Stinger. But for a time there, that Red Pepper Rig for just seemed like 1 year, maybe two. That thing was really, really going. I know John King uses quite a bit of red in his products. And I know red down deep in the deeper water columns actually does show up really well. But it's just not something that I dabble quite a bit in. I think there's better things out there, and that's just my opinion. I'm not knocking anybody. But no, I don't run red very much in my flies. The only fly that I do have red in is the blackjack fly, and I consider that a deep water fly or a deep water meat teaser. So yeah, there is some red in at least that one. Can someone repeat the name of the play store? Okay, PurpleTacoFlySupply.com is the place for the fly material. PurpleTacoFlySupply.com. And Lee, the owner of Purple Taco, is actually on here right now. So if you got any questions, he's right there. Hey, Bob. Bobcat's here from Tangle Tackle. See if he wants to chime in on anything that he heard over the weekend on fishing. I know he told me yesterday that he heard that some decent pike fishing on Manistee Lake over by the 9th Street boat launch. But he did say that the ice is still pretty sketchy around there. So please, as always, be careful. And Bob, if you got any more information on that, feel free to chime in. Lake Cadillac, Lake Mitchell. I drove through there last week. Hey, Rick, how you doing, man? Anyway, I drove through Cadillac last week. Actually, just on Friday, I drove through there, and I stopped. I looked around, talked to a few people. Sounds like Lake Cadillac, Lake Mitchell is still doing okay. Good ice out there, better ice there than we have around here. But I didn't get a whole. Guys are kind of, if they don't know you, they're not going to tell you a whole bunch. So, but it sounds like they're doing okay over there in Wexford County, Lake Mitchell, Lake Cadillac. Hamlin Lake, I don't have much information other than there's some really bad areas of ice and fishing is hit and miss. So that's pretty much been the norm for Hamlin Lake the whole darn year. I wish I had more to tell you about that. I just don't, guys. And that really is it for the lakes around here in a nutshell. River fishing is still up and down. Watching from the north shore of Lake O. Can't wait for Kings. Hey, well, welcome here, Andy. I appreciate you being here from Lake O. River fishing is still up and down. Like one good day mixed in with 3 or 4 bad days, or not bad days, but slower days. Few steelhead on St. Joe. Cool. Great. Glad to hear there's some steelhead popping around. I didn't hear anything on shore fishing or shore fishing or pierhead fishing this week. And Bob, if you're on here, you got any information on that, feel free to chime in on there. But yeah, river fishing's still okay. The information that I did get was double bead rigs, and some plugs have been working a little bit as well. We fished there Saturday. Slow for Hamlin and Crystal. Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, that's what I heard also. Just slow. Yeah, conditions are just not ideal right now. Excuse me, got a cough. Sorry. River's blowing out here in the northwest. Hey, Magwa, how you doing? That's, if I remember right, that's Mike. He's up in the Pacific Northwest. Big time salmon fisherman up there. Glad to have him here. Okay, so I did get some questions over the last week that I'd like to kind of take care of here if you guys don't mind. Also, I got a list here of new subscribers. Guys, these are new subscribers. I like to throw these names out from time to time just to welcome people here. I know most of them probably aren't here right now, but just welcome to these new subs. Waldilio, like that name. And some of these guys actually have some pretty good channels. I always say, if you got a moment, if you want to look at some pretty cool channels, some of these guys have a few videos out there and some kind of cool things. But Waldilio, 99 Flies, Ryan St. John, or St. Jean, I'm guessing St. John, James Wolf, Tom Roberts, Wendell Count, and Sunshine Huskies. Cool. All right, anyway, welcome to those people to the channel. All right, so a couple questions here I'm going to read off real quick just to cover a few things. Then we'll get out of here. Everybody's got better things to do on Sunday night at 7:12 than watch me. All right, so Ryan Patia, if I'm saying that right, or Patia, he wanted to know about leader lengths and pound, or the leader line strength. He was kind of curious on, was it tippy at 12 p.m.? Saw a 15-pound steelhead, smaller ones caught. Great. Hey, great. Tippy dam, sounds like there's some steelhead down here. All right, Ryan, in a nutshell on leaders, from my flasher to my fly, 50-pound leader is what I run. Occasionally I'll run fluorocarbon on there. Occasionally I'll just run straight big game. 50-pound though. For my leaders, from my Dipsy Diver to my Spin Doctor, so the longer leader, I normally run 50-pound on that also. Big game. Nice big strong, big game. Good line. Very abrasion resistant. Holds up very, very well. I usually run about 18 feet on that. I've covered that in some other videos. For leaders on my long lines, like my coppers and my lead cores, 20 or 25 pound, and I switched to Suffolk Smoke last year. It's a color that Suffolk has out. I love that stuff. I think my catch rates actually increased some. I know they did. And that's what I recommend to everybody now. We got it in the shop. If anybody's ever around and needs some stuff put on their rods, we got it there in the shop. So yeah, that's it. From Spin Doctor to fly, 50-pound big game or 50-pound fluoro. From Dipsy Diver to Spin Doctor, 50-pound also. You can get away with 30 or 40. I don't like taking the chance on it. And then, like I said, all my leaders on my long lines are 20 or 25 pound. Sometimes I'll change it over later in the year if the fish are really big like they were last year. Step it up to 25-pound stuff. All right. Thanks, Ryan. Good question, though, man. I appreciate you chiming in on that. Stephen Greer wanted to know, he talked to me a little bit about where he could find accurate information on the web for trolling depths. He mentioned, of course, the Trolling Bible, which is Mark Romanak's series. It's a good, there's actually an app for your phone that you can put on there. And Mark has done extensive studies with trolling depths of Dipsy Divers, deep runners, Rapalas, you name it. He's done just immeasurable research on these things. And he puts out really good information. So he mentioned that, but a couple other places that I do know of, especially for lead core and copper, to get you somewhat close. Excuse me. And really, there's no substitute for experience on this. Like normally, if I go out, we're fishing, whether tournament or charters or whatnot, if I'm looking at the graph and I see where the fish are suspending, or I know where they're somewhat located, it's really just experience for me to go, okay, I need that rod, and I'm just grabbing. And that there's no experience for that. The more time you spend out there just doing it, the better you get at it, the better you know which rods and presentations are going to be running at the right depths. But to get you started, there's a couple places, and the one I'll tell you right off is bloodruntackle.com. Blood Run Tackle's got a nice website. They do have some really nice dive charts on there for 32-pound and 45-pound copper. Also some lead core charts on there. Watch fly video, prefer inverted bushy flies or tube stay. The bushy flies is what I use mostly, guys. Yeah, normally I flip it over so it's a little bit more bushy. If you don't like it that way, of course, you can run it the inverted style, or you can even trim it up a little bit. But yeah, bloodruntackle.com's got some really nice information there for some depths. And then another one that I found over the years was Watersportsmag, all one word.com. Watersportsmag.com. This guy's got a pretty decent dive chart on there for lead core, and he does it with a bunch of different kinds of lead core in different diameters. So the micro core and the standard core. He's got some really, a couple of the numbers I thought just in my mind might have been off a little bit. I know that's all speed dependent, but for what I saw in there, it's pretty darn close. So, Steve, I hope that gets you in the ballpark. And if anybody else is looking for that information, watersportsmag.com, bloodruntackle.com, great places to start. Get a look at some things. All right. Got an email from a guy named Todd Frank. I actually spoke with him a little bit, a couple emails back and forth. Real nice guy. Hope you're doing good, Todd. He wanted some information on coho fishing in this area in the spring. He fishes this area in the spring. And that's something I can get into later down the road. Just in a nutshell, though, we up here all the way up in Manistee, we don't get the big coho push like they do, say, down in St. Joe or Michigan City, Indiana. We just don't get it up here like they do. It doesn't work out that way most springs. We do get some real nice coho later in the fall, but for the most part, we don't get that massive horde of coho all the way up here. But I can talk about coho setups, but that's something I think it's going to take a little more time and a little more in-depth information, so I'll hold off on that till a later time. But Todd, that's a really good question. I appreciate you asking that, buddy. And then Eric Eckes, and I hope I'm saying that right, Eric. He watched our video on setting up our dipsy divers and our downriggers tangle free, and how we set them back and how we're able to redeploy them over and over and over again without tangles. And he saw the one part where I pulled the low diver. Say the high diver goes off, you get a fish. You need to redeploy that high diver. How do you get it around that low diver without getting it tangled up on that side? And he saw the part where I grabbed the low diver and I just moved it over to the other side of the boat. And he thought, and it's a good thought, is that getting tangled up now on that gear on that side where I just moved it to? And the truth of the matter is, no, it's not. What that low diver does, it pretty much stays put right where it is. If you think about it, it's pulling out down and hard away from the boat. Me moving it, say, as much as 12 feet on the bigger boats, it's not going to affect it very much down there where it's already sitting. Maybe a couple feet, but not very much at all. So no, it's going to stay put. It's not going to come over into the other gear. So you can use that safe. If you got gear out on both sides, you could do it safely over and over again. I'm seeing more offers for shrimp rigs. Have you used them? Never have. No, Earl, never have, my friend. Yeah, I wouldn't even know what one looked like if you dangled it in front of me. Excuse me. But anyway, Eric, that was a good question, and I wanted to follow up on. God darn, I wanted to follow up on that just in case anybody else was wondering that. I wanted to put that information out there. What are your thoughts on slide divers? Randy, really the only time I run slide divers is around the pier heads, or if I'm shallow water fishing and I need to get my presentations a little bit stealthier. Especially with spoons, I like to get those a little stealthier away from my divers. So that's really the only time I'm using my slide divers is shallow water, like I said, around the pier heads, or if I'm fishing, 40, 50, 60 foot of water and I want to run spoons, get them a little bit further back. I'm not saying I've never run them out deep. I have. If it's a really good spoon bite and I want to take the flasher and fly off and put spoons out, I'll put a slide diver down and put those things back 40 or 50 feet on the leader. It just works really well for those stealthy presentations. But yeah, I like them. They do work. I'm not a big fan of the light bites. They seem almost over-engineered to me. Almost too many moving parts. In the spring, what should I target in our ears? Hey, Joe, I'll talk about that in just a sec, man. Good question. But yeah, slide divers, they do work. They work fantastic around the pier heads. Taking a lot of really nice kings around the pier heads on slide divers. So yeah, they're good. They're very good. And there's some nice accessories you can put on slide divers also, like the oversized ring, the extra weight you can put on there. So if you do want to go out and target deeper water, those things are available to you. And we've done it, and it works. All right. Joe, you want to know what should we target in our area in the spring? In the spring, most guys chase browns around here, right on the shores here of Lake Michigan. Easy to do. Just go out and troll the shallow waters here up and down the lake shore. Look for a little warmer water though for browns. You know, high 30s, low 40s if you can find that. Typically, where you're gonna find a little better fish. What's your opinion on weighted steel? Good question, BMK. I'll cover that in just a sec. But yes, browns in the spring can be really, really good. Just running long lines with rapalas on them, body baits. Thin fins. Thin fins are some of my favorites for browns. But yeah, we'll get browns here in the spring, and we get a really nice walleye run also here in Portage Lake and Manistee. Some trophy class walleye. I mean, I'm talking 11, 12, 13 pounders come rolling in, coming in to spawn. Not saying I'm a huge advocate of taking spawning fish out. If I get those big female, they go right back in the water. But we get some big males that come in as well. So yeah. How early in spring for browns? As soon as you get out, man. That's the key. As soon as you can get the boat out, go out there and check them out. But if you're just fishing cold water, chances are you're not going to be finding a whole bunch of browns right there. You got to find those little warmer pockets. All right, good questions, guys. And BMK, what's my thought on weighted steel? Dude, I don't have enough experience with the weighted steel to give you an educated opinion. We have one or two rods made up on our boat of weighted steel, and we just haven't run it enough to know much about it. I'll say this about it: the stuff is pretty darn cool in the sense that you can take it, wad it up into a ball, throw it on the bottom of the boat, and you're not going to get tangles and kinks. Not like lead. If you do that with copper, not lead core, but if you do that with copper, you know your copper is going to look like it's going to look terrible. It's going to be, have you caught walleye in the summer in the big lake? No, what? Yeah, maybe. Well, I'll talk about that in a sec. Yeah, so in comparison to copper, it's much more user-friendly, I'll say that, until you get to the part where you got to tie your knots. And that's where weighted steel, for me, that's where the problems lie. And there are a few knots out there to get those things to work. I've experimented with them. They're not easy, and they're a little bit time-consuming. I got to get more into weighted steel to really give you a good opinion on it. I'm not saying it doesn't catch fish. I'm sure it does. But I just can't give you a real good, educated, experienced answer on that. Good question, though, man. Have I ever caught walleye in the summer on the big lake? No. The latest time I've ever caught walleye here, I think, was like into May, maybe early June. We still get a few stragglers around the pier heads. So I guess that's kind of summer. Yeah, I guess we can consider that pretty much summer. I will anyway for around here. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. All right, so we are 22 minutes into this thing. If anybody else has any questions, throw them out there real quick. If not, I will catch them. You can leave them down below after this is over. Like I said, I always like to go back and answer any questions that I can. Seemed like there's one other thing I wanted to cover. Oh, Best Lure Company plugs. We are going to pick the winners for the Best Lure Company field testers here. I will put that out next weekend. Everybody's going to, or not everybody's going to get chosen, sorry. 10 people will get chosen on that. 10 people, and we'll get those plugs out to you guys. All right, cool. I know you guys have been waiting on that. All right. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up, Scott. Like I said in the last video, all those thumbs up, the likes, shares, subscribes, all those things help the channel. Weighted steel knots. Okay, there's somebody there who probably knows a lot more than I do about weighted steel knots, because my knowledge on weighted steel knots is limited. All right. That's it. I'm going to go get a drink of water because I am coughing like a crazy man down here. All right, guys, be safe, have fun. I will see you every Sunday right here, 7 o'clock. Lee, thanks for being here from Purple Taco. Bob from Tangle Tackle, he was here also. And all you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time, guys. All right, see you.